My dear viewers, especially those from the East and Central African region, you're probably familiar with this song. Mapenzi Yakiisha Hubaki Mazoea, mwana mama itakuwaje mimi na wewe, hata jambo hakuna. That song, for those who are familiar with it, by Lewanyika John Gereza the late, and it's a song that is on point with what I want to talk about today. Does love end so that you move from everything to nothing, zero? Is that true? Is that realistic? Before we delve into that, welcome back to Dr. BMS channel. And for those who are logging on for the first time listening to us, Dr. BMS channel, we discuss matters of our daily lives that affect our health, whether it's the health of our bodies, our mind, or our soul, so that we become better humans through this awareness. And before I go into the story, I would like to remind you again to subscribe to our channel, to like our videos, to share them with your friends so that word spreads around, because word of mouth is very powerful. If you share it with a friend of yours because you like the message, they are likely to listen and take a little of that message with them. So, mapenzi yakiisha, kunabaki mazoea ama kila kitu inaenda? Does love end so that nothing is left completely? I thought about talking about this because in my work as a doctor working in a rehabilitation center, I receive patients who are in addiction to drugs, alcohol. I receive patients who have mental health issues, depression, anxiety, psychosis. And when they come in, we assess them first to know what the problem really is, how far it has gone, what are the contributing factors, what are the aggravating factors, and that helps us to know how we can go around the problem in terms of remedying it. And so as we go on our assessment, oftentimes we find that these patients who have come in with addiction, with mental health problem, are coming from families that are broken. The families are dysfunctional, and the dysfunction, the breakage in the family has affected them. They are not able to cope well with it, so that they sink into addiction to drugs or depression, anxiety, and they end up at the Fountain of Hope Treatment Center where I'm speaking from. And so as we continue our rehabilitation, our treatment, there's something we call family therapy, which is part of the therapy, the treatment. In family therapy, we invite significant members of the family to come in and participate in remedying the situation. They participate by having a session, a counseling session. We go over the issues that have been identified as causing the addiction, aggravating the addiction, sustaining the addiction, or the mental health problem, the depression, the anxiety. So for example, we get patients who their parents are separated, divorced. This is a young man, a young woman in college. They cannot cope because they loved their parents, but now their parents are constantly fighting. Maybe there's a case in court, there's domestic violence. They feel neglected, they feel confused, and as a coping mechanism, they may have gone into drugs or become depressed, anxious. They're not able to continue in school, so they drop out or they repeat years. And so once we know this, at some stage during the rehabilitation and during the treatment, we will call in the parents to come and want to find out what can be done to make the situation better. If we could bring these separated or divorced parents back together, because it's a common wish of some of the patients coming, I wish my father and my mother could get back together. So as therapists, if we can bring them back together, we'll be happy to do that. But sometimes we are not able to do that for various reasons. Our aim then is that we make these two parents cooperate in parenting in such a way that their child can go on well despite the divorce. They do not let the divorce get in the way of parenting, get in the way of the mental health, the psychological well-being of this child, such that the child cannot continue with normal life like schooling and work and other activities, and they are so depressed, frustrated, anxious until they resort to using drugs or they go outrightly crazy. So during this family therapy, where we find warring parties, husband, wife, sometimes it's mother and family-in-law, sometimes it is brothers. When we have these warring family members and one of them cannot cope and have gotten into a problem like addiction or mental health, as we go on with this family therapy, we find a situation where some of the participants are able to go over their differences. They realize that, oh, I didn't know that my disagreement with this child's mother, my son's mother, has affected him to a point where he's using drugs of addiction to cope, or he's not able to follow at school. I think I'll try to do something. I've not been present. I've not been meeting him as often as I should, talk to him, visit him in school, guide him. I've left that mother alone because I was not getting on well with the mother, and whenever we would meet, it would be quarrels and disagreements. So I pulled away, I kept off. But now that you've told me, doctor, I'll try to come back and do what I can. And we encourage them, we give them tips on what to do. For example, you can meet your son in the absence of your wife. She doesn't have to be part of the meeting, but you can do your contribution, and many other tips which we'll talk in another session on how to co-parent when you are separated or divorced. And some of them take this well, and as we continue with the therapy, even outside the center after they have left, we see that the child now is coping well. They feel that their parents are able to be present in their lives and things are getting back on track. But we also get parents or family members who are worrying, who despite all the effort, they can never just come together, even on mundane points that have no bearing on the love relationship that they had. They have internalized some dislike. They have replaced that love with a hate that is so deep, nothing can override it. And this is a question I would like to ask to you viewers of mine and Dr. BMS channel. Does love just go from everything to nothing? When you met this person, if it's husband and wife, you met your wife, your husband. First, this was a human being. You were attracted to them. You didn't know their name at that time. They introduced themselves, or you introduced yourself. You became friends. Even for a short period, maybe for a longer period, you started dating. Some would have been childhood friendships. You started dating and you ended up marrying. Now you are lovers, you got married, you have children, but something happens and you crash from up there to just nothing. The question is, how can this be? Is this normal? I mean, if you can't have those romantic relationships at the level of love, husband, wife, sweetie, and everything, there was something else. There was a platonic friendship for some period when you were just friends. And before that, there's that humanistic feeling that this is another human being. It looks like some people are able to just move from that romantic love where everything is just good, smiles, happiness, laughter, and they crash to nothing. They can't even come to a point where they are platonic, cordial, just relating like friends. or even to the level they are dealing with others like they're human beings, yet you have a child, you have children, you have family, you are brothers, you are in-laws. So then everything you've done when you are at the level of platonic friend, maybe you entered into a business agreement, you are doing something together, and this business is doing well. Everything you did when you are at the romantic level, marriage, love, you have a family, you have children, all that is just dumped into the sea. You don't care what your wrangles, your disagreements will do to your children, what they will do to the rest of the family. You spoil a business that was doing so well just because the romantic feelings are no longer there. Think about it. Is this real? Does it make sense? Why would you not say, okay, we no longer love us, maybe I moved on and married someone else, but we have a commonality called children, and I think we can cooperate on this. If my son has a problem and you know, let me know. Just call me or send a text or an email and say, the son has got a problem, maybe they need school fees, do something. They need someone in school for career day, go there. But you can't even tell me. And some parents go even a step further to poison these children against the other parent. Now you are telling these children how their father is such an animal that should never talk to him, how their mother is such a bad, I used a bad word, it's a bad person, they should never talk to her. You even prevent them from seeing. If the court, for example, the divorce settlement had said that you have visitation rights, you don't want these children to be visited by their father, by their mother. You block and remove them completely from the world of this. And now we have children who are totally damaged into drugs with mental health illnesses because you extended a disagreement, a war that was between you and your husband, you and your wife, you and your in-laws. You have now sucked in everyone to be a combatant, even if people did not have anything to contribute. The collateral damage is just too big because of your actions. Think about it. Can you be able to segment love sometimes? That if we are not at this level, we could be at a lower level or even a much lower level, but at some level and make it functional, especially when we have bigger interests like children, we have family. We cannot just crash everything because we are not agreeing. That will damage too many things, too many people. I end by the song I started with. Mapenzi Yakiisha Hubaki Mazoea, mwana mama itakuwaje mimi na wewe, hata jambo hakuna. See you in the next video of Dr. VMS, and as always, remember to subscribe and share with a friend who may benefit from this message. Bye-bye.